Right, so before I begin this LP of Undertale, I'd rather point out a few essential elements of this video series. First of all, this is not really a live LP. The commentary you're hearing right now has been recorded after the video. As a result, this is more of a comprehensive and linear overview of Undertale. It attempts to go over every important element of the game as the playthrough goes on. And finally, for purely cosmetic reasons, the name of the song that we'll be playing will be indicated through the entire playthrough. So with that out of the way, I'm going to begin the video in a few moments. And here we go. The game that put Andrew Hussey on suicide watch. This is Undertale. A lot of things have been said about this game so far, but I'll just send out the premise and general selling point of the game right out the gate. So, once upon a time there lived humans and monsters. The two went to war, humans fucked the monster shit up, and they sealed the monsters underground with a spell. Many years later, Dad, I met Aunt Ebott. You're a child, maybe age unspecified, probably 8 years old. You decide to go inside the mountain. You fall down, you get stuck. You're now underground, and you need to get the fuck out. This is the general premise of Undertale, but what makes it so unique and what made it the talk of the town recently is because, to put it in the simplest way possible, your actions really have consequences. This is really the one way to put it. The game really changes depending on how you act, even if it's more based on two extremes, and it just only acknowledges certain ways of playing, certain actions you make. So this is Undertale. The very first thing you do when starting the game is select your name. This is my third playthrough. My first name was Fuck, my second name was related to a project of mine, so the name was Maxwell. The third name I chose is also related to this project, and it's Eliza. So you're just gonna see me write down the name. Yeah, so keep an eye out for this name. It actually plays a pretty important role in the game, somewhat. So it's going to begin right about now, just after this fade to white. And welcome to Undertale. You play this fucking kid with jaundice. So for the moment it's dead silence, but it's going to get very lively very soon. For the moment you can't really do anything, you just gotta walk to the next room. And it's there that you see the first major character of the game, Flowey. He's going to be your helper for most of the game, pretty much. He's going to help you through the underground, do a bit of narration, show you the sights, show you the mechanics. That's pretty much it. So he's going to show you the battle system pretty soon, right now. Yep, that's your soul. You can move around with the arrow keys. If I recall, you move faster diagonally than horizontally or vertically. Elvista, love. Yeah, it's a game for the family. It's really for the entire family. This is why some might find it a bit strange that this is getting so much attention, but again, first impressions are not always everything. So here's going to show you the friendliness pellets. There are two things you can do. One is take them, the other is not take them. Just keep watching. Yeah, so if you had enough reflexes to dodge these friendliness pellets, you've already pretty much got an idea that something is off. Something is off. Yeah, so you just die there. The game's pretty short like that. Of course, Eliza, being the feisty bitch that she is, she runs right into the bullets. And here is our second major character, NPC rather, Toriel. Take a good look at her because after a little bit you're not going to see her again for a long time. By the way, she's your actual helper for the, well, rather your tutorial giver. Huh? Get it? Tutorial? Right, so those are your save points. All of them begin with some text relating to something giving you, or rather the character determination. This is a running gag. Oh yeah, since we're at it, since Toriel is just going to introduce the mechanics of, or rather the presence of puzzles in Undertale, I'd rather get this out of the way also. The game was mostly made entirely, almost entirely, by a certain Toby Fox. You might have known him, you might know him. You might know him for two things. The first one, and the thing I know him for, is for his work in the music team for the webcomic Homestuck. But as much of a role as he played in that music team, his music there really doesn't give an impression of the work that he's done on this game. The music of Undertale is eons better than that of Homestuck, personally, but I really don't like Homestuck, so that's one thing. The other thing you might know him for is for his romhack of Earthbound named the Halloween hack. If I recall, it got a bit of attention, namely for the fact that it proved you could make new music in Earthbound. I'm not 100% certain on that, but he did make a new song in Earthbound. And this song was featured in Homestuck along with Undertale. You're gonna know it when you see it, I'll tell you. Okay, so this is another important element of Undertale. It's the combat system itself. Basically, what she just told you is to get a good conversation with the adversary. What you can do in Undertale is either slay enemies, or rather monsters, or act. You can talk to enemies, do various things, and if you do the right thing, you can spare them. So essentially, you could technically go through the entire game without killing anyone, without fighting. I say technically because there are various situations. Well, strictly speaking, you can't go through the game. I'm just juggling around the incorrect words. So, normally this isn't what you're supposed to do, but considering I know a lot of things about on Undertale, I'm just doing one of the multiple things you can do here. In this case, something specific happens when you keep attacking, but you keep missing. This is a timing-based attack system. You gotta hit right for the center. But Eliza is horrible at aiming, so she doesn't really get any hits through. There you go. This is another thing about Undertale. It's actually a very short game. You can finish the game in like a few hours if you take your time. But what really gives it an extra bit of personality is how there are tons of different secrets and Easter eggs. Maybe not Easter egg. There's a lot of things you're not going to see on your first playthrough, even with how small it is. It's really a game where you can just. It's really a game designed to be replayed. It's really designed for multiple playthroughs, because changes happen after each playthrough. But more on that later, much later. But yeah, there are a lot of things hidden, dependent on actions you might not even think of doing at all. Here are some more puzzles. That's fucking adorable. The game is really fucking adorable. In fact, more on the game's atmosphere later on. Yeah, the runes are pretty easy. The puzzles are pretty easy, in fact. Don't expect something on the level of. Oh yeah, also the spikes are fake. You can't get hurt. You really can't. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the puzzles are really not difficult. Personally, I never had really much trouble with them. And normally I suck ass at puzzles. But obviously it depends on the game. So here I'm just moving to the timing of the music because it's just one long fucking hallway. Expect to see more of that. Right, so it should be. Sorry, I lost my train of thought, so I don't have much to say right now. Oh. Yeah, she's been hiding. Normally you wouldn't know, but you could totally go behind the pillar and just... Yeah, but you're gonna... Whoa, I was almost going to drop a serious spoiler right now. Yeah. So nothing really happens. Nothing really happens for me anyway. I've seen this sequence multiple times. What more can I say? Well, yeah, it was mostly made by Toby Fox. You can buy the game on the website for Undertale or on Steam, and you can also purchase the soundtrack on Toby Fox's Bandcamp page along with Steam. But if you want the soundtrack in FLAC, you better get it on Bandcamp because it's only 320 kilobytes per second MP3 on Steam. I had to purchase it on Steam personally because otherwise I wouldn't be able to buy it. Oh yeah, she just gave you Toriel just gave you a cell phone. It allows you at this point of the game just to chat with her, but it gets more uses as the game goes on. We're gonna see. We're gonna see that. So here this adorable little frog tells you about the sparing mechanic. Obviously, being a monster, it doesn't really want you to kill all of its fucking brethren. That would be nice. Another save point. This game, when you finished it, it's fairly easy. In this game, I'm oh yeah, monster candy. Look, I'm gonna fuck this up real bad. Originally, I was going to try to do info, but I accidentally ate the monster candy instead, so I'm just taking another one. And oh boy, that is fucking disgusting. Also, that was a double punctuation mark. That never is supposed to happen. Fucking Toby, fix this in the next patch. Right, so now Eliza is burdened with the fact that she took more than one monster candy. Not a really great way to start, but what wouldn't you know? So yeah, if you've known about Toby for his work with Homestuck, don't expect anything close to that. There are definitely Homestuck influences in Undertale, but those are extremely subtle. Well, not extremely. One would notice them if they were acquainted with Homestuck, but they're not immediately recognizable. Oh, another choice is coming up. Yeah. Sometimes there's these choices, they seem... I'm jumping a bit further ahead again, but for example, your preference between cinnamon and butterscotch, the game keeps track of that. So let that be a little foreshadowing of what is going to come next, because seriously, a while later, it's going to get wild. I don't remember if anything happens if you actually wait for Toriel back in the hallway. Yeah, so for the combats, all I'm trying to do is check the description of each monsters, then just go for the optimal for what I'm supposed to do to spare them, just to really show the descriptions. I'm trying to make this series of videos as comprehensive as possible. Here comes another room. This one you can do. This one I've been able to do once without even falling down here. See, the hint is that the leaves show. Okay, I lost my train of thought there. You're not supposed to step on the spaces where the leaves on the lower floor are. So you use this as a reference point for what path to take. But really, you just gotta fall once here, then you can use this other pile of leaves as a reference point, then you can just keep going like this. Again, this game is actually pretty damn easy when you get the hang of it, when you know what to expect. So you can really go through this real fast. Another monster, Mold Small. Yeah, it's fucking slime. And here I get hurt. By the way, I'm going for no death run. There's actually a sort of there is some sort of impact to the game if you don't die. Well, not really a huge impact, but some lines of dialogue are changed. I'm going to show you exactly which lines. Yeah, remember how the note back where the first rock was said 3 out of 4 rocks recommend you push them? This is the 4th one. See, Undertale has tons of these small details that just come out like this. Sometimes it's fucking dumb, but it's fucking hilarious. Honestly, I don't know how Toby Fox made a game this good. I really like this game. Honestly, at one point, soon after I finished it proper, I was saying to my friends, dude, if you want Undertale but you don't have the money for it, I'm gonna fucking buy it for you. That's how much I wanted people to play this game. Seriously. But then again, it costs only like $10 on Steam if I recall, as of this writing. I don't know if it's on sale for the Steam Winter Sale. You know, assuming this video gets uploaded before the end of the winter sale. Oh, here's another minor NPC. Just gonna wait until moving was forced. Fucking Napstablook! Technically, Napstablook doesn't have a gender. Neither do they have a sex, but Napstablook's my man! Yeah, so in case you didn't get a hint of it by seeing Flowey, the mini-bosses and bosses of Undertale are easy to recognize if they make attacks that pop out from... Naps, you fucking jokester. If you see projectiles come out from all over the screen and into the combat area, that's the boss, that's the mini-boss. Undertale often toys around with various elements of JRPGs, or RPGs in general, and that includes the fact that battles can often span the entire screen. In fact, it's taken to its extreme really late in the game in one specific section. We're going to see that again when it happens. Oh, it's fucking adorable. Yeah, so all you gotta do is cheer. Nothing like a bit of cheering to cheer up a depressed ghost. And so the fucker gets out of your way because... but then again, aren't ghosts incorporeal? Maybe Eliza's just too polite to step right through Napsta. So here's a spider bake sale. You can, if you got enough money, you can get some healing items there. And I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to come back there a little later because I want to buy one of these items for something. You're gonna see. Oh, here's one of the 4 frogs in this room. This frog tells you about how you can press X to skip. If you pressed X to skip before you went up to this room, the frog doesn't appear. I know that because after I recorded this footage, I died. I still have the footage for that, so I'm going to show that maybe in a bonus video. But seriously, I fucking died and I had to go like all the way back to a specific point, like 20 minutes back maybe, assuming I take my time again. But I ended up starting the game all over again because I wanted to do a no death run. But apparently it's a lot harder when recording because I'm all stressed out, because I need not to fuck up even more. But yeah, because of this, the frog didn't appear on my on the playthrough that I did to catch back up to where my original recording ended, this recording. But it stops before the actual end. So the frog didn't appear then because I was pressing X to skip to get back to where I was the fastest possible. So this frog, this frog tells you about how when a monster's name is in yellow, you can spare them. So it's very helpful. If you say it's bad, you're just a fucking horrible person. You're fucking pathetic. Maybe not pathetic, but you're an ass. Yeah, so the frog wasn't there on the playthrough the next video is going to pick back up on. So there might be different dialogue when we come back there, because we are going to come back there. Yeah, she's just saying your inventory's got a limit. You can carry up to 8 or 10 items, I believe, as you are right now. Right now I'm looking for, fortunately, oh, here's another monster, Vegetoid. Service USDA. Right, so what I was doing is, actually, these encounters were very useful because I managed to scrounge up money to buy something from the Spider Bake sale. Basically, what I was doing right before this encounter is look for the 4th frog. Shit, my screen just... Yeah, the 3rd frog over there mentions the 4th one. There's an ant-sized frog in a crack in the wall. You really gotta look for it to see it. Seriously. Alright, so I buy the spider donut. And I'm not going to use this healing item for a long time. Let me tell you that. It's going to show up way later. And it's actually going to be one of the few instances of sequence breaking. Not sequence... Sequence breaking is a much too extreme word, but it's one detail that Toby Fox didn't account for because he accounted for a lot of details in Undertale. Again, it's small, and because of this, there are a lot of details. He really planned through a lot of things. Now, I mentioned it was mostly done by Toby Fox, but he did get a little help from 2 or 3 people, maybe? Especially when it comes to character art. If I recall, there's... I know a specific character was designed by the I don't know who it is, but the person who draws Ava's Demon, that webcomic, didn't really like that webcomic when I started writing it. One of those webcomics where it seemed like the writer took more time building up the world than the plot itself, you know. And those writers are generally good artists. I don't know, it's like a common theme in some webcomics I just don't manage to get into. But webcomics aren't really my thing. For some time, Homestuck was my thing, but now I fucking hate it. Well, I don't hate it, I just think it's a horribly written story. Fucking horrendous. But we're not here to talk shit about other webcomics. Not really. Undertale is a game for celebration and happiness. It's a game about the positive things in life. Alright, so there's some much interesting stuff here. Honestly, even without a walkthrough, I'm sure anyone could manage to go through this section. The ruins are pretty easy. They just introduce the main mechanics of the game. Here, the only reason I bothered to go down here is to get my health back up to 20 because, again, if I arrive back at... Oh, and here I forgot that there was a switch. Nice one, Tox. Nice one, Tox from the past. But yes, there's another thing that happens when you... after some time in the ruins, when you have 20 out of 20 health, you're gonna see it. Alright, so I flip the switch and I can continue on. I think the next room, yeah, the next room is like the one puzzle that is, you know, that requires a fucking ounce of thought. No offense to the game, but the puzzles are easy. I really need to stress that. Don't expect like fucking nuclear science. Right, so this is just, actually it's a pretty clever little puzzle, personally. It's all about perspective. Oh shit, I've completed for it. Okay. I don't know if I checked the description of this monster, but it says like full name Lux Eyewalker. And I only got it on this 3rd playthrough while recording this. That the joke is that Lux Eyewalker is fucking sounds like Luke Skywalker. I didn't even notice the name at all beforehand. Seriously, I play... As much as I know about the little details of Undertale, there are still a bunch of things I didn't come upon at all. At all. Right, so this was just a pretty interesting perspective-based puzzle. It was easy, but it was pretty clever. But keep your eyes on this one. Notice how Toriel is written in blue? Yeah. Keep that in mind. It's not going to make sense until a bit later. Not in this video. Definitely not in this video. Here you find the toy knife. There are pieces of equipment. I don't think I equip anything in this part of the LP because I don't really need to. All right, so yeah, Shia. Fucking look at that walk. It was like a fucking straight slalom. Oh, look, not a scratch. If you took no damage, or rather you came back up here with 20 out of 20 health, she says that. I believe if you get really badly hurt, she gets fucking mad. Oh, here's some symbolism. Every time this old tree grows any leaves, they fall right off. Another save point. See, a cute, tidy house. Yeah, it's a cute house. The music is fucking great. Since I'm kind of running out of things to say in the game proper, nothing really interesting yet. There are, the music of Undertale is really cool. This song is called Home, and personally, I think it's really one of the best tracks on the soundtrack. Source, I fucking listened to the soundtrack. It's just so fucking comfy. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit of flavor text in Undertale, especially in the indoors areas, and it's actually very interesting. What I really like about Undertale is how it manages to bring up all its lore in a way that, oh, see that plant? It's gonna change. What I really like about Undertale is that it brings up all of its lore in a way that is really well done. It's very subtle. A lot of the lore is hidden in the flavor text when you check items, and while you don't really need to see another detail, while you don't really need to read all this flavor text, it really adds another dimension to it really adds some extra somewhat necessary details to the game. Maybe not necessary, but when you know these specific details, you're not going to forget them because they have some bearing on the main story. Also, I hope you took a good look at that mirror because it's another sort of running gag. The cactus, truly the most tsundere of plants. Of snails. Undertale is funny. Yeah, puns. There are gonna be a lot of more puns. Of a similar caliber. The narration is really fucking... Christ, I'm feeling kinda sleepy just watching this. They don't interest you. Seriously, it looks so fucking comfy just looking at this from here. And it's really dusty. Dust. Alright, also here's the lamp. The transition is like... not really an important... Eliza, for fuck's sake. I'm a sucker for that kind of transition, music transition. It's fucking cool, personally. So yeah, you go to bed, that's what you're meant to do, and you get a slice of cinnamon butterscotch pie. Or butterscotch cinnamon. Again, I'm not going to use this healing item. I'm going to keep it for much later on. So before I'm going to talk to Toriel, Eliza is going to look at more of the flavor text. This is a bit more of the backstory of the monsters. Home. Yeah, that king is pretty lousy with names. You're going to see that later. So here's the kitchen. It's nice. Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning. Monsters use magic. it gets more detailed than just magic later on. You're gonna see. So she just talks and talks. Man, I could really go to sleep right now. Christ. Now I gotta stay awake. The confidence isn't going to last forever. You're gonna see. Ugh. Yeah, about the confidence not lasting forever. As great as it would be to live with Toriel, the thing is, you kinda need to go. Eliza, in that case, would really want to go. Oh, so many fucking uses for a snail. I'm not entirely sure about it, but I think there are actually multiple snail facts that Toriel can mention, and it changes like from one playthrough to another. For example, this one, I haven't seen that one before. The facts have got to change between playthroughs. Seriously. Yeah, so if you insist, she has to do something, if you know what I mean. Also, Eliza checks the couch, because why the fuck not? Seems like the right size for Toriel. That probably was a concrete example just 10 seconds ago. Yeah, so you gotta go downstairs. If you go downstairs before this sequence, she just goes down and tells you and carries you by the hand back upstairs, because it's not safe. If you go downstairs a whole bunch of times, she just comes up with more excuses until she just stops and brings you back up there. Oh jeez, I was carried away with that. I forgot there was actually important dialogue right there. Yeah, so she's going to destroy the entrance. Speaking of important sequence, this will allow me to bring up something about the characterization in Undertale. But after this sequence, something's going to happen in a few moments. Alright, so when it comes to what direction you're going to take in the game, this is generally a good indication of what direction you're going to take. Because basically, so far, what you would do is fight or act, right? Well, I don't do this in this video because at that point it was clearly obvious to me, but you can try to talk with her, but it doesn't really do anything. After like 2 tries, the narration outright tells you that talking to her won't do anything. However, notice how one of the frogs said, at some point you're gonna have to spare someone even if their name isn't in yellow. Well, you're not gonna see Toriel's name go in yellow. What? Yeah, truth be told, in my first playthrough, I fell for a trap that a lot of people fell for. Basically, one of the frogs, I think one of the frogs tells you that, but the frog tells you that if you weaken an enemy enough, they won't want to fight you anymore. So my first idea was just to attack Toriel a few times, then just wait until her name would go in yellow. But the thing is, after some time, you make a hard-coded critical hit and you fucking kill her. So what did you tell my surprise when I accidentally did that? Let me tell you, I was shocked. Yeah. And honestly, by that point I was already kind of invested in her, you know, had some emotional attachment. Yeah. So I went back and tried to spare her. And in fact, what you need to do to spare her is just keep doing nothing, just insist. In fact, by the time you get down to 2 HP, she stops attacking you outright. She isn't in it to kill you. As much as she as much as he tries to act aloof. So I'm just gonna stay quiet for the moment because So another thing I noticed only in my third playthrough as I was recording this is that during the boss battle, Toriel has some actual her eyes glow like a fire-ish red. That was a really cool detail when I noticed it. So yeah, the boss battles are generally work like this. They aren't like normal battles where you just gotta act. You gotta find the specific gimmick of this boss. You're gonna see that later. I'm getting a real Sodom and Gomorrah vibe from this. You know, Don't Look Back. Actually, you can go all the way back to the beginning of the ruins, but since going over every detail would make the playthrough way too long, I decided to skip over that. So here we go. Flowey comes back. His dialogue changes also depending on what you do in the ruins. If you kill the monsters, spare them. There are a bunch of variations. Oh yeah, what did he just say? In this world, it's kill or be killed. That's normally what he says when you fall for his trap in the beginning. But since we didn't, that's the first time he states it. Yeah, at this point all he does is talk shit. Doesn't really impress me now considering it's my third playthrough, but to be perfectly fair, he totally had me on edge on my first playthrough because I had no idea what to expect of Undertale, so this guy just shows up and yeah. What did he say? Oh yeah, he said something like, I am the prince of this world's future? Whatever. Yeah, so he laughs and then it just vanishes. And that's where the, don't know why I took that step back. But yeah, that was the end of the ruins. There is actually a lot more after that. But considering the sudden Undertale, that you might think otherwise. Right, so this was the first part of my Undertale LP. This was only an exploration of the ruins. There is still a lot more after that, so I'm going to see you guys all later.